All right, good day to everybody. This is Rich.
This is Adam Williams.
And we are going to share with you some MacBook Air tips and tricks for those of you who have newer MacBooks and wanted to learn some more about some of the things that you can do that you might not know how to do. One of those, we're going to just dive right in, and Adam and I are going to go back and forth and share some things with you. One of the things I wanted to share with you is about the sidebar. So if we open up the hard drive or we click on the Finder little face in the dock, it brings up a window. And on the left-hand side of your Mac is the sidebar, which has obviously a variety of things in there. You can get to your desktop to see everything on your desktop here. You can get to the Documents folder that stores things on the computer. And you can also get to the Applications folder. So even though your dock has a whole bunch of applications in it, the Applications folder is every application that is installed on your computer is in this window. And you can view those and see what's in here by just going to that Applications icon on the left-hand side.
So one thing that we may ask you to do coming up in the video is to locate self-service. And self-service is an application, but let's say that you can't locate a file that you know exists on the computer as well. One great tool that is built into the Mac already is called Spotlight. And the easiest way to locate Spotlight is to click on the magnifying glass in the top right corner near the clock, and it will bring up a search box. And so let's say if we were looking for self-service, since we know that it is on this computer, you can just start typing it in and it will give you multiple results. You can also use Spotlight to search for things on the web, or if you're just trying to find the definition of a word, and it will break that into categories based on the results of the word that you typed in. From there, you can search or select, on what you are looking for. Or if you want to just cancel it, just hit the escape key and it will clear it out, hit the escape key again, and it goes away. And I'll show you another way to get to Spotlight that might be a little bit faster than clicking the magnifying glass later on in the video.
So that actually gives you the ability to get to an application in two ways. The Spotlight also gives you the chance to look for a document that you may have typed and saved yourself. Another thing that I wanted to show you was a little bit more about your server drives. And you probably already know that if you go to the little Hilliard icon and choose Network Home, it will add your network home onto your computer. That will show your network home here in the right-hand side, somewhere on the right-hand side, depending upon icons that might be on your desktop. And then you will see it over here in your sidebar as well. I like adding an alias to my network home so that I can get to it quickly if I'm not connected to it. And so what I do is right-click on the network home, and then I go down here and hit Make Alias. And this creates a quick way to get to that server drive if it is not connected and if you want to see it from your desktop. So when I go here and I want to see that drive, all I have to do now is look through my list and pull up my alias to my network drive, test teacher alias.
So another thing that people want to be able to do or like to do is save directly to the network drive after it's already been connected on the computer. So if you're in a document, and I'm just going to save a quick one here, and we're just going to type in test, and I'm going to go to File and Save, wherever that's located. Oh, I'm in Finder, I'm sorry. File and Save. If I expand this, you'll notice that you're not going to see your network drive here as an available option. So one way to add that is in Finder with the Finder window open, as long as Finder is appearing at the top. If you click on Finder and then Preferences, and then we're going to click on Sidebar, if we allow our computer to be seen as a location on the left side, now when we go to File and Save, and you click on your computer, you can see your network drive because it's mounted on your desktop. And so that gives you a quick and easy way to save directly to your network drive without having to save it to your downloads or your desktop first and then copy and pasting it over to your drive.
So, and the other option to do that is if you had added the alias, like I showed you a minute ago, is you go to File, Save for a document, and then you go to the desktop, and you will see your alias here, and that will also get you to your server drive. So either way, you can do either one to get to your server drive quickly when saving a document.
So one thing that you may be wondering is, I have all of this great software that's been offered to me through self-service, but how do I update that software? And in most cases, we let the application itself handle the software update. And so you'll get a prompt within, say, Google Chrome, letting you know that there's an update available, or Microsoft Office has its own updater that will pop up usually once a month to let you know that there's an update available. But some applications don't do that, or we like to make sure that our software is on a version that is compliant within maybe some of the state testing that we do, or for some other reasons. And so self-service, the same way that it offers new installations, will also allow you to update your software. And in most cases, you'll get a notification that will appear at the top of the screen when that is available. But if it does not, then it will show up in the notification center. And so right now on this computer, it does not look like we have any available software updates. But if we did, it would say so-and-so software, let's say Adobe Acrobat has an update available, and there would be an update button in order to allow you to do that. If you do not decide to click on that update button, we usually put an expiration timer on that so that it will update automatically for you at some point. So it's not anything that you have to worry too much about. But if one does show up, it is safe to do. It has been approved by the district, and you can do that through self-service.
Here's a fun one. One of the fun tools that recently came out in the Mac operating system is called dark mode. And right now, obviously, everything, you've got a white menu bar and everything is lighter color, but similar if you're an iPhone user or you've used iOS, obviously iPads, you're probably familiar with dark mode. To get to dark mode on your Mac, starting with, it was before Catalina, wasn't it? Mojave and Catalina both have dark mode available to them. If you go to System Preferences, which was under the Apple, we choose System Preferences here, and then we open the General window. You have light mode right now, or you can switch to dark mode, and it brings everything, makes everything dark, and then turns all your lettering into white. Or you can, if you're in Catalina or newer, which one version is that? 15, 10.15?
10.15.
10.15. Catalina adds auto, which will use the kind of time of the day, whether you're in light mode or dark mode. After sunset, it'll switch over to dark mode. So fun tool to add to your Mac.
I'm sure you noticed when you started watching this video on how messy the desktop is.
Adam, your desktop is very messy.
And good thing is we don't actually have to use the desktop in this mess, I suppose, or it's very hard to locate maybe a specific file unless you put things in certain patterns, I suppose. But you don't have to clean up your desktop either. So the Mac helps you do that with a feature that's called Stacks. And this is available for both Mojave and Catalina. And it's very quick and easy to get to. If you do a 2-finger click on your trackpad, or a secondary click, or a right click, whichever term you prefer to use, one of the options is Stacks. And so once I click on that, what it's going to do is it's going to sort all of my files based on file type by default. And there's some other options as well, but I'll show you quickly. So most of what was on the desktop were images. And so if I click on images, it will expand what is in the images category so I can look through those. And it does the same for other file types as well. So if there are file types that maybe aren't recognized or as common, then they'll go in the others category. You may see screenshots, which are still images, but the Mac recognizes that they're screenshots and that you may want to locate those separately. You can sort as well if you right click again by group stacks by. And you get some other options like kind, which is what we're currently using, date last opened, date added, date modified, date created, and tags.
Awesome. So another cool feature that the Mac has to quickly allow you to see things better is to do zooming. And I do this a lot when I'm in a browser, but it can also be done on the documents like Pages and other Apple documents. If you want to go to the Hilliard website. And so if I'm on this page and I hit the Command key and the plus key on the Mac, I can basically quickly zoom in or zoom out by hitting the plus or the minus. So that's holding down the Command key and then either touching plus or touching minus to zoom in or out on your screen. Another way to do that is with the touch keyboard shortcuts on your Mac is using the trackpad, and you can actually take your fingers and let's see here. Oh, maybe I wasn't going to do that. Never mind.
You can pinch in and out, but just like on a phone or an iPad.
Right. That's what I was thinking. And then I went down here to look and I didn't see it on my notes. Another way to zoom in and zoom out is to use your trackpad on your Mac. And so you can just take two fingers on your trackpad. Your thumb and your pointer is often the best way to do that. And you can just pull together with your fingers to zoom out, or spread your two fingers apart will zoom in to do zooming. Another nice tool on the Mac is the News application. And on this Mac, News is showing up in the dock, but let's say it's not down there. And so we wanted to find it very quickly. So we could hit the search spotlight and just hit News. And there is the News application showing right at the top. News is a nice new tool for it's a collator. It kind of pulls together, or aggregator pulls together a variety of news sources to give you the latest news that's going on. It's very simple. There are a variety of things. It's going to ask me if I want to use my current location, so it can show me news in the area. And then today we'll show you current news that's going on. News Plus is a service, so like if you used to, or if you still get the newspaper, this would be like buying the newspaper, but you'd be paying for a subscription to News Plus. And then obviously there are a whole variety of other topics. You have a search bar over here if you're looking for specific news, and there's even a way to listen to your news. And remember where that was. Is that in the sidebar?
I don't usually have seen it at the top, like under the Today category. I just saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
But maybe because we just opened it, it's like not available
I won't worry about it. Okay. So that is the News app.
So one thing though is you can subscribe to certain news outlets, or maybe you want to get your scores from ESPN through the News app. You can do that, but what happens if that notification has disappeared and you want to see what you have missed? Maybe you're in a meeting, you saw the notification and you let it disappear. You can actually return to those notifications by clicking on the list at the top. It's the notification view. And by opening that, you actually get a few different options. So what you'll notice here at the front is that very quickly you can see that we have Do Not Disturb turned on. And this turns on automatically because we are mirroring the screen to a TV right now, but you can also schedule this as well to turn on and off at certain times of the day. You have your widgets that will show up here, and these are just the default widgets, but you can play around with these if you want to reorganize them or show different widgets or hide different widgets. But for notifications specifically, there is a notifications tab, and this keeps a list just like an iPhone or an iPad would of all missed notifications. And so like we were saying earlier about a software update, we can actually see here that there's a self-service Adobe Acrobat Reader update that's available. So if you missed any updates, those would show up here. Let's say though that you are a little bit tired of seeing certain notifications and you want to manage what you see in your notification center. You can do that by opening up System Preferences and then clicking on the Notifications tab. From here, like I was stating earlier, you can schedule when Do Not Disturb turns on and off, or you can allow phone calls or repeated phone calls to come through just like a phone if you have linked your phone to your Mac. And then within each application that's visible here, you can choose what kinds of notifications you would like to receive. And they give you a few different options on the presentation, some checkboxes on how the notifications are handled, or if I never want to receive notifications from books, I can just uncheck that. And going forward, I'll never receive another notification from books.
So night shift is something that's going to be hard to show in this video recording, but in the system preferences section, if we go into display, find my display here. There it is. And then I go over to,
no, click on the window behind that.
Oh, that's right, because we're in dual mode here. So when I'm in dual display mode, it's showing me both of those windows on the screen. But normally, if you're not connected to anything, you'll just see this window. Night shift is a cool feature that allows you to make your screen a little less blue in the evenings. It's easier on your eyes in the evening time. And one of the things I love, we turn this on, you can set it to sunset to sunrise, which is excellent. And that way, in the evening, it'll make that a little more amber color. It kind of dims it down a little bit, much easier on the eyes. And then in the morning, it'll come back. You can also set a custom time slot, but personally, I like using sunset to sunrise. And once I get used to it, now I hardly even notice it. I don't even notice that it's on, but it's better for my eyes. It reduces the blue color in the monitor in the evening. You could even turn it on all the time if you liked it to be always on. So another cool feature on the Mac that is fairly new that I just learned about, and of course that makes it new because I just learned about it. But a great feature that Windows users have had for a very long time, and I love that they've added this on the Mac. If you have a couple different windows open, and in this case I have Safari open, and I have my notes window open, and maybe I'm taking some notes on this web page, and I want to be able to see both side by side quickly, I can click and hold on the green button and then choose to tile those. And now I have a split screen where I can come over here, I can start typing my notes, I can be over here on the left-hand side and reading or whatever, and I can just have both windows open at the same time. Really nice feature, quick way to get into a kind of a dual screen setup. To get out of it, you can hit the green button again, or you hit the escape key on your keyboard and it gets you out of that split screen mode.
So some other ways that you can quickly navigate the computer without having to use the trackpad, or if you're like me and you just quickly want to jump between windows, or keyboard shortcuts. And so what I'll do, because we're not going to cover all the keyboard shortcuts because that would run on until the next day, we will open up System Preferences and click on Keyboard. And then under the keyboard preference pane, there are a few different options here at the top. We'll click on Shortcuts, and they are broken down into categories. So I'll show you a few because we have some windows that are open. But one that I really like to use, and we'll touch on the differences here a little bit, but I just want to be able to close out of this window. And maybe a better example is if I have two Safari windows open, maybe I was using split screen like Rich was just showing, but I only want to close one of these without completely quitting out of Safari, is if you hold the Command key and press W, it'll just close that window. It didn't completely quit Safari. So if I open back up another window and I have two Safari windows open, but I want to completely quit out of Safari, then I'll hold the Command key and I'll tap on Q, and it will completely quit out of Safari. And you can see that it no longer has the dot underneath Safari, indicating that it is still open. So you can also, if you're just quickly trying to see the desktop, maybe you're trying to find a file, but you don't want to close the window or you don't want to quit the application, if you press Command and the H key for hide, it will hide Safari. But when you click on it again, it opens it back up. And so actually a better way to show this would be to actually be on a web page, and to show you that it doesn't do anything to the website itself, you can open it back up and it's still there. Spotlight, what we were talking about earlier, there is a keyboard shortcut for that as well. So Command and the space bar will open up Spotlight. And so that's a quick way to now start searching. Maybe you're looking for self-service and you can open that up. And then probably the most popular use for keyboard shortcuts is to take screenshots. So you saw earlier in our stack, we had a ton of screenshots because I like to take screenshots. And so you can see the different options under keyboard shortcuts. Click on screenshots and it will show you a few of them that are available here. But the most common ones are going to be to either take a screenshot of the entire screen. And so you can do that with Command Shift and 3. And you'll see a preview here that there has been a screenshot of the entire screen. Or if you're trying to select maybe a certain section of the screen or maybe a portion of the window, Command Shift and 4, and you'll get these like this crosshair section here on the top left. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but if you click and drag, you can probably see this now, this box that I'm making larger and smaller here to show what section of the screen I want to take a screenshot of. And as soon as I release, it will then take a screenshot of that. And I'll share one more that I really like, and I think Rich likes this one as well. If you do Command Shift 4 and then press the space bar, you'll get a camera icon and it will highlight almost with a gray film in a sort to let you know what window is selected. What it's doing is it's going to take a screenshot of just the window that is currently highlighted. So when you click on your trackpad, it will now take a screenshot, and I'll show you that it has taken a screenshot of just that window.
That's a great feature. I love that. And it's so handy to do with the space bar because it makes just that window part of the screen. That's awesome. Another great feature on the Mac is the Preview app. And Preview is like Adobe Reader, but it's got a few extra tools built into it that you can use. So there are a variety of ways you can mark up a document. And I'm just going to open this PDF in Preview so that you can see some of the things that you can do with it. So this is the Preview app. And I've opened up this PDF, which is actually the agenda from today, which you'll have access to this agenda on the Canvas course. And if I want to mark this up, I can actually open the markup tools and I can do a whole variety of things here. So I can add text to something. So if I wanted to add a note here on top of this previously created, I can type in that. I can change the font color. I can do a variety of different types of font styles. All of those things are possible. Another cool tool on here is the ability to add shapes. And is that just lasso or is that paint? Oh yeah, there it is. There's the draw tool. And then finally, the really cool one that I like a lot is the ability to add things like signatures. So I can make my signature in one of two ways. I can use the trackpad. So if I click here to begin, and then I go on my trackpad to where I want to start drawing. And you can use a stylus or you can use your finger. And so you could just start drawing. And then hit escape. And that gets me out of, oh, did we do it twice?
I hit the return key first. Let's check the signature section to see if it's there.
Okay, do that again. Another cool tool that is super handy in Preview is the signature. You can actually create your own signature, and you can do that in one of two ways. You can use the trackpad to draw your signature, or you can use the camera and take a picture of your signature. So if you wanted to use the trackpad, you would hit the click here to begin button. Then start your finger over on the left-hand side of your trackpad so that you can draw your name however you like it to be. And then you hit the escape key. And if you're happy with that, you click done, and your signature is now available to you with the little triangle. So if I wanted to put my signature in that way, and there it is. The other way to add your signature is to create a signature using the camera. And all you have to do is take the camera. Hi, Adam. You would use the camera. You would put your handwritten signature on a piece of paper in front of it. It'll recognize it and save it. And you'd have an even nicer looking signature if you are good at writing your signature on paper. My signature is always a mess. Doesn't matter how I draw it. So that is the preview program.
So another cool tool that I actually use quite often because I think it's very convenient is called Hot Corners. And so Hot Corners, once we close out a preview, can be changed in System Preferences again. And then it's under Desktop and Screensaver, or it's under Mission Control. So there's 2 locations to locate Hot Corners. So if you click on Desktop and Screensaver, and then I'm clicking on the Screensaver category here at the top, and then Hot Corners is down here at the bottom. I'll show you where it's located in Mission Control as well. So Mission Control, Hot Corners on the bottom left. So if you click on that, what you're going to see is it is giving you 4 drop-down menus based on the corner of the screen, and it will show a little arrow to indicate that. So I personally don't use the bottom left or bottom right corners of the screen for really anything. And so those tend to be my 2 hot corner locations. I don't want to accidentally activate a hot corner by maybe going too far when selecting the Apple or by viewing the notification center. So the options are the same, but if you click on one of these drop downs, you'll see that you have some different actions that can be completed by using the hot corner. So I'm going to show one that's not going to disconnect this video. So Launchpad is probably pretty common. A lot of people like to use that because it looks like the iPad. And so if I select Launchpad as my hot corner and I select OK, instead of having to use this Launchpad icon on my dock, we can get rid of that now. You can just drag your mouse all the way to the bottom left corner and it will activate Launchpad. And so there's some different options as well. You do have an option to quickly put the computer to sleep by using the hot corners or starting your screensaver. I like using the screensaver option because then I know it will require a password the next time I go to use the computer. And so that's just a quick way to lock the computer without having to click on the Apple
super
logo.
handy if you get called away and you got to get up from your desk, but you don't want to leave your computer just open and available for anybody to walk up to. You turn that on, you swipe down to the corner, your hot corner, and boom, your screensaver is running. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
All right, and a couple more things, and we are done with our tips and tricks. So the trackpad is got so many features to it, and you may or may not know all the different things that you can do with the trackpad. So the trackpad has a whole variety of basically we call gestures. You use your fingers to do a variety of different gestures, and you can set those up, and I'll show you that in System Preferences here in a second. But if you needed to right click on something, so obviously a trackpad is only the one gigantic button, but if you use your what I use is my pointer finger and my middle finger. I use 2 fingers and I will click on something. That creates a right click for you. So a single click with just your pointer finger just selects it. But 2 clicks with your finger gives you the right click and all the choices that are available with a mouse for right clicking. Another option that is really handy is the scroll feature. So if I have the Safari window open here, and then I go to a website, and while I'm on this website, if I use 2 fingers again, and I just push on the trackpad, you can scroll up and down. You don't have to come over here to the right-hand side and find the scroll bar. All you got to do is 2 finger swipe up or swipe down, and it allows you to move up and down on your screen. Another one that's super handy is the zooming. We talked earlier about zooming. If you want to zoom in on something, you can just click on, you don't even have to click, you just 2 fingers. I use my thumb and my pointer for this one, spread my fingers apart to zoom out in, and then push together in order to zoom back out. Another nice feature is, we like notifications. We know notifications are up here in the top right corner. If you want to open notifications up without having to go up to the top right corner, you take 2 fingers on the right-hand side of your trackpad and just swipe to the left, and notifications will open right up. You want to get rid of it, 2 fingers swipe to the right, gets rid of it. If you want to open up or see all of the things that are open on your window, you can use 3 fingers swiping up. Will kind of get you a view of everything that's open kind of in a grid, and swiping down gets you back. If you swipe up with 3 fingers and you want to switch to the other item, you just move your mouse a little bit, and then a single click gets you to bring that one up to the top. And then finally, the last one that I like a lot is 4-finger spread. You take 4 fingers on your trackpad, you swipe apart. I get that right. Oh, that might not be set up on this one. Let's go to trackpad here, and we'll take a look at where those are set. So in this window, you have all of these choices can be turned on and off. If you don't like something happening when you use too many fingers on your trackpad, you can turn that off. If we go here to more gestures, this is the one that I was trying to do, I believe, with
Show desktop at the bottom.
Oh, there it is. Well, it was there. So why? Oh, there it goes. I just didn't get it right earlier. So show desktop is the 3 fingers on your hand and your thumb swiping apart will show the desktop. And then finally, as we were just talking about, all of these different settings, all the different kinds of gestures you can do is in the system preferences window, going to trackpad.
And to add, even just showing Launchpad again, in the opposite movement, if you pinch 4 fingers together with your thumb, it will open up Launchpad as well. Since I know many of you like to use Launchpad, it's another quick way to get to that.
We've got them saving like a whole day now.
I know. So I think the last thing that we're going to touch on is talking specifically about the screensaver and energy saver preferences. So many of you probably like how good the battery life is on your new Mac, but you also like to use your Mac and you don't like it turning off the screen all the time on its own. So by default, Apple likes to use a very short default energy saver time. And so I got to this under system preferences and energy saver. And there's 2 different sections here. So there's battery, which means that the computer is not currently plugged into a charger. And you can adjust this time by just dragging this arrow across the bar. And I think by default, it's like 3 minutes. It's very short, which means that if you do not touch the computer for 3 minutes, the screen is going to turn off. And so I like to personally extend this a little bit. I put mine at 15 minutes, knowing though that if you set it for too long, you are shortening the battery life for the day. And eventually you will start to, I believe, get a warning. Yep, just letting you know that maybe that's a little bit too much.
You're using too much energy.
Yeah, so 15 minutes seems to be a good sweet spot for me. And you can change that setting for the power adapter as well, which means how soon do you want the screen to turn off while it's plugged into power.
It's nice that they're separate, that you can do both.
Definitely. And so maybe put that one at 30 minutes. You do get the warning here, but that's okay. It's plugged into power. And then you get some checkboxes underneath, depending on which option you have selected as well. And so the only recommendation that I have, you can set these ones however you prefer, but is probably not enabling power nap while it's on battery, because that allows the computer to check in for new emails and notifications, which will use more battery even when the lid is closed.
I love power naps though.
Power nap, me too. Power nap is still available as a feature while it is plugged into power, and so that is okay for the computer to check for new notifications while it's plugged in. And then the final one that we're going to talk about is the screensaver. So separate from the energy saver preferences on how soon the screen itself turns off, you can have it go to a screensaver in a shorter amount of time. So keep in mind that if you have your battery preferences set to turn the screen off after 15 minutes and your screensaver is not set to start until 20 minutes, your screen will turn off before the screensaver turns on. But this time still goes into effect if your power adapter settings are set to say 1 hour or 30 minutes. After 20 minutes, you'll know that you have about 10 minutes left before the screen's going to turn off completely because you have it plugged into power. And you can choose as well from some of the different options for what you want your screensaver to look like. By default, it will just be your computer name with an Apple logo, but there are some other options in here as well.
And we have the password required when coming out of screensaver for security reasons, but you can always change how long it is before it goes into screensaver mode. But the nice thing is, if someone would walk away with your laptop and then open it back up, it would be in that locked mode. And that allows us to protect your data a little bit better, but you can control how long before it starts that screensaver.
Correct.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that you've learned a couple new things. Again, the agenda is available on the Canvas course along with this video. So hopefully you got something good out of it. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.